आज एक स्पेशल वीडियो है क्योंकि आज हमारे साथ एक स्पेशल गाड़ी है। जी हाँ, ये है जैगुआर की नई I-Pace जो कि एक इलेक्ट्रिक SUV है और आज हम एक शॉर्ट रोड ट्रिप करेंगे टू सी हाउ प्रैक्टिकल इलेक्ट्रिक कार्स रियली आर। सो विदाउट वेस्टिंग एनी टाइम, लेट्स गेट ऑन टू द ड्राइवर सीट। अभी हम वीडियो को शुरुआत करते हैं by saying why have we chosen the I-Pace for this exercise? Well, in terms of luxury EVs, the I-Pace has one of the largest battery packs and also one of the best in terms of range. जो overall claimed range है वो लगभग 470 किलोमीटर्स है and this short exercise जो एक छोटा road trip हम कर रहे हैं is to see whether does it really go further till that claimed range figure or in fact that does some range anxiety kick in? Well, हमने पहली बात हमने I-Pace को मेरे घर से दिल्ली we have come to नोएडा via the यमुना एक्सप्रेसवे। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जो ट्रैफिक है वेल दैट इज़ द बिग USP फॉर एन EV। एक इलेक्ट्रिक कार जो है इसकी जो ड्राइविंग एक्सपीरियंस है इट इज़ डिफरेंट व्हेन कंपेयर टू अ स्टैंडर्ड पेट्रोल और डीजल कार, क्योंकि फॉर एन इलेक्ट्रिक कार द सिटी इज़ वेर इट रियली थ्राइव्स। जो इसका रेंज है वो सिटी में ज़्यादा इंक्रीज करेगा ड्यू टू रीजन, हाईवे में इतना नहीं। However, the I-Pace that we have here, the range hardly dropped in the city despite using an aircon. The music system was on and of course it has got all the bells and whistles which we'll talk about later. However, city mein the I-Pace was really smooth, very easy to drive and it is a very fast car like any electric car. However, jo I-Pace mein hai, this is a fully loaded luxury car which means it's got two electric motors and the total power figure is 400 bhp and 700 Nm of torque. जो torque figure है वो बहुत ही ज़्यादा है and is comparable to big sports cars. तो जो परफॉर्मेंस है 0 to 100 is below 5 seconds and that is nearer to sports car performance and that's what you get from an EV. However, जो मेरे ख्याल से big USP है I-Pace के लिए is the way it feels. It doesn't really feel like an EV in terms of the driving experience. ये एक proper sports car लगती है in terms of the low driving position or even the handling. ये और जो steering है, the sort of calibration of the throttle, it is really good. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हम बात करते हैं रेंज के बारे में। इन द I-Pace द रियल वर्ल्ड रेंज दैट वी हैव गॉट सो फार इज calculated around 370 to 380 kilometers. Now the overall is 470. However, जो असली में जो range मिला है 370 380 is still very good. That has been achieved by using the eco mode, which sort of maximizes the range. There are other modes where dynamic, like you can drive really fast. However, the range goes down. So yes, range के मामले 370 380 is one of the longest in terms of range. तो आप easily cover कर सकते हैं long distances without really needing to charge one way, and that's a big USP for an EV like this. दूसरी बात जो है परफॉर्मेंस, आई रियली लव द परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ द I-Pace. इट इज़ रियली फास्ट बट ऑल्सो इट फील्स लाइक अ स्पोर्ट्स कार. इसका जो स्पीड है, जो एक्सेलरेशन है, it's been really calibrated very well, so you feel like you're driving a fast petrol car but the performance has the torque of an EV. As always, अगर आप if you put your foot down, performance is instant, torque बहुत ही ज़्यादा है इसमें and it just goes really well. It's also very smooth to drive. मेरे ख्याल से जो driving experience है, it is one of the best in terms of Jaguars. I think I would really have it over the other cars too. जो USP है, I think the I-Pace, despite that the fact that it's got a very battery pack which has bन mounted low, इसकी जो ground clearance है वो suffer नहीं किया गया. The ground clearance further can be raised due to this button, which means you can add 50 millimeters of ground clearance, which means total ground clearance is around 230 and that's really good. Plus जो overhangs है, जो design है वो काफ़ी different है, which means it's really good off-road as well. On road it feels like a sports car, you can do off-road as well. So is the I-Pace really the all you want EV? Well, इसकी जो price है it's around 1.10 crores. You really do expect a lot and yes, it does deliver a lot. मेरे ख्याल से it has the luxury, it has the features and on the road trip we got around 370 kilometers. So I think that's more than enough, which we feel is perfect if you want to go out with your family and don't have to worry in terms of being stranded. जो Jaguar I-Pace है, it also helps you a lot in terms of constantly reminding the charge. You are constantly being reminded of the various displays जो charge कितना है. So and unlike some other EVs where you have to really go into the menus to see, here it's there apparently. Plus in terms of luxury features, well, the I-Pace जो है, it's a proper luxury car and gives you a whole lot of stuff. Obviously the standard features are expected. However, some of the bits I really like is this full-length glass roof. However, it's not a proper sunroof. Plus you can't cover it, so some sunlight does come in. However, it's not as bad as you might think. Even in the harshest of summer days, the sunlight won't exactly come in so much. जो और फीचर्स मुझे ज़्यादा अच्छे लगे in terms, it's got a really nice heads-up display. I really like this rear view mirror technology. I mean, this is really nice and helpful. Other bits, well, the touchscreen is nice and big. जो lag इसमें नहीं है ज़्यादा. It's got all the bells and whistles as well. It's nice, proper premium sound system, powered seats. It's got the lot. Obviously fancy upholstery. I really like this touch screen, sort of the screen which sort of divides the cockpit of the car. Plus, of course, these buttons for the climate control, they are so nicely done. So yeah, so Jaguar I-Pace feels expensive, and I think personally for the price it is one of the best EVs that you can get, simply because इसमें range बहुत ज़्यादा है in terms of comparison to other EVs in terms of real world range. So yes, in terms of EVs, अगर आपके पास 1 करोड़ से भी ज़्यादा पैसा है एक लग्जरी कार खरीदने में, I think you should look at the Jaguar I-Pace quite strongly.